the facility itself then, um, what if I go inside, what am I going to see? What does it look like? How big is it? How many lines does it have? How many staff does it
Yeah.
have? How is all this going to change?
Yeah, so if you look at it, it's basically been built with three lines, two of them highly automated, one less automated. And that one was more designed around bringing on new designs, getting them up to speed before you move them into the automated lines. And so right now there is equipment installed for about 3 gigawatt hours of capacity. There's another 3 gigawatt hours of equipment all there. That line's not fully commissioned yet. And so that's something that we will be doing. Northvolt was in the middle of ramping line one up and then moving to line two when the bankruptcy started to hit. What you're going to find on those automated lines is highly robotic automation. So about 80% of the line is automated, and so you're finding world class kind of latest technology on robotics on that line. So we'll be, if we kind of look at right now, this facility was shut down as part of the bankruptcy. So once we close the deal, which we expect to be doing this quarter, we will immediately start ramping back up and bring those lines back up. And then, so realistically, we look over the next year and a half to start to kind of go from initial kind of start the restart procedure to getting up to full capacity. And that will also be lined up a bit with the demand side of the equation. So will be inheriting their existing customers. So the products that were being produced out of this facility are already on their third generation. So they've got installations throughout Europe. We are inheriting those customers. We have a pipeline of new customers from Northvolt. We have our own pipeline of customers that Lyten had that were a pipeline waiting for us to have the capacity to be able to deliver to them. And so that pipeline will feed into this facility as well. So starting point, European Northvolt's customer base is mostly European. So we'll focus on those initial customers. But our pipeline is quite diverse. And so this will be an export facility. Right now, our pipeline has potential customers from more than 18 countries. So this, we do view this as both supplying Poland, supplying Europe, but also supplying internationally.
Okay. And what kinds of battery products are coming out of this facility? Is it modules, packs, full containerized BESS? And how do you see that
Yes.
kind of mix
Yes.
evolving over time?
Yeah. So the primary product to start will be it's a modular BESS system. So you can think about this as there is a hub and then the ability to install up to 5 modules on top of that. Each module being, roughly 250 kilowatt hours. And so you can, if you put all 5 modules together, you get to about 1.5 megawatt hour system. This has been designed really purpose built for the commercial and industrial market, highly ruggedized, highly modular, plug and play into the infrastructure. And so very, very little setup cost. And so we're seeing a really nice pull into this commercial and industrial market. So that includes data centers, industrial facilities, construction sites, commercial facilities, hospitals, universities. So kind of a wide range of customers there. And so this will be direct sell into those customers. There's sort of a secondary market that starts to be, and so you can kind of think about those as behind the meter customers. We're also starting to work with utilities where these fit at near the meter, so potentially in front of the meter, but not utility scale necessarily, as utilities are looking at how do they get more out of their grid infrastructure, be able to balance some of the demand coming from their customers a little bit better by installing batteries throughout the grid. Future products that are in development that we've acquired as part of this deal is a bit much more of a containerized solution. That's a bit more of a grid scale 3 to 4 megawatt hour system. That one's not ready for the market quite yet, but is in development to bring into the market at a later date. And so that will provide us a product portfolio, both very focused for the consumer, the commercial industrial market, which would require sort of smaller scale modular systems, and then a much more containerized system that would be able to work either with big industrial customers or more utility scale.
Okay, and this modular system that made up of 5 250 kWh systems, what kind of size is that at the 5 module level?
Yeah, so if you outfit it entirely with its 5 modules, it starts to get to, I would say a mini containerized size. Not quite a full containerized solution, but it starts to get, approaching that type of size. And everything, though, the way the system is built is, each of the modules is designed to be able to pick up by a forklift, moved very easily kind of into place. And so there's some customers in that base who actually are moving these systems. They're installing them into like construction sites. Once that's done, they move it to the next location. Some are utilizing it just for a quick installation, but keeping a very much a stationary system that's going to stay there for years. But being able to do that with very little infrastructure around it, so really just plug right in.
Okay, and when you said like it's essentially a mini containerized system, is your containerized benchmark a 20-foot container or 40-foot?
Yeah,
20 foot? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a little bit smaller than a 20-foot container.
Okay.
If you fully build out the full modules, and we see a mix. The current customer base was a mix, a lot of smaller systems as well as a growing number of kind of the fully built out systems. And we're still kind of waiting to see what the biggest demand pull will be from customers. We are seeing a really interesting kind of gap in the market for these sort of multi-hundred kilowatt-hour systems that Northvolt was finding a nice place in, where there's a lot of demand pull, and we expect that to continue. As we bring this product back to the market.
Okay. And then on the battery technology side, then obviously it was a facility designed around lithium-ion products.
Yep.
So you're continuing that for a time, but then you said that you'll bring in Lyten's lithium sulfur battery tech into it as well. Kind of talk to me about, I guess talk to me about the decision to maintain the lithium-ion product kind of process.
Yeah.
And then after that, like the transition to your own lithium sulfur batteries and how that will work in practice in terms of like refitting.
Yeah. So, there's a logic here that we have been able to, identify a great asset like the Gdansk facility in Poland. It's got its supply chains already built up, got its designs in place, it's got a backlog of customers. So it really makes good business sense for us to turn that facility right back on and continue to produce what is ready to go with no design changes. It is purely bring the people back on, start producing more systems. And so this is really a very business-driven decision there. If we look at lithium sulfur, we are in the scaling phase of scaling manufacturing of lithium sulfur. Right now, we are the only commercial manufacturer of lithium sulfur batteries. And so as we think about scaling this into the energy storage market, we need a little bit of time to be able to get that manufacturing base of the lithium sulfur batteries up to be able to meet the demand on the BESS side. And so this gives us an avenue to ramp up that facility, have it running, have it fulfilling customer demand while we ramp up the lithium sulfur production to be able to enter that, to bring that into the market. So we see this as being at least in the near term, a 2-product scenario. So we'll maintain the lithium ion product. We'll bring in the lithium sulfur product. And that is being designed from a design standpoint. There is a pack design that has been designed to fit into the energy storage system. And so we're working with the same pack designers that designed the original system to design that for lithium sulfur. Ideally, to have as few differences that these packs can go in and out pretty seamlessly between a lithium ion and a lithium sulfur system. To be honest, there's still some engineering design work to figure out exactly how seamless those can be and what changes might need to be done within the energy storage system for the different chemistries. So that's
And
something that's going to be kind of a key focus of the engineering team. So we will be bringing on some of the key engineers of Northvolt's system onto the Lyten team, both in Poland and in Sweden. And then obviously we have our engineering team in Silicon Valley in the US. And so those teams will be, collaborating together to work through the engineering and design. So we're not putting a time and date yet of when the lithium sulfur is going to be coming in. We're really gonna wait to kind of complete that engineering and design, really build out those timeline schedules before we commit to a timeline.
sure. And yeah, you mentioned there kind of bringing in the workforce of engineering, bringing the workforce of Northvolt and their engineers. My next question was going to be on recruitment because you said before that the facility was shut down totally, and you guys
Yeah.
are keen to kind of restart it back up and fulfill the orders that are there and ramp it up. So I guess on recruitment, like what does that process look like specifically for like the staff maybe that were already there and
Yeah.
could be back, and then, but then also like you said, bringing in that kind of Northvolt engineer expertise and like yeah, leaning on that a bit.
Yeah.
And I guess the second one's a kind of broad question about how you're approaching that. The first one is more like specifically the facility and like local workforce.
Yeah. So I think there's a reality both in Gdansk as well as in Stockholm and Sweden side. You know, there was a development of a really talented workforce over a number of years that as Northvolt was building up their manufacturing. As Northvolt shut down, there wasn't a really ready flow of where those engineers should go. A battery business is one of those that there's not 3 or 4 facilities and 3 or 4 battery companies all sitting in the same location. And so a fair bit of that talent we think is ready and willing to come back and work with us. And so we've been able to really engage the leadership in both the Poland side and the Sweden side in Stockholm around this energy storage business. They obviously have great relationships with their prior teams. And phase one is looking at where's the opportunities to rehire, bring back folks that were already there. That familiarity with the systems and the processes and the specific equipment is really critical for the speed of ramp up. And so ideally we're able to rehire as much as possible. But we certainly are going to have to recruit new as well. And so we'll be, that will be kind of second phase once we figure out how many we're able to bring back that were already there. Right now we're waiting for as the deal is moving towards fully closing. We're already building those plans in place. We're working with the existing members that are moving over, kind of already officially moving over with the assets to start that recruitment plan. And so we definitely plan on starting that immediately. We will ramp at pace, and so we want to ramp up the facility at a certain pace, and so we'll hire according to that pace. And again, this sort of comes back to making sure that we're getting good systems out the door, we're meeting customers' needs, we're seeing that pipeline grow, and then we add the headcount to meet the pipeline demand. That's been really critical to Lyten's strategy, is to not overbuild out, not bring on more than we see the demand in the market for. And so we really want to secure those contracts and that demand, and then bring the customers in to fulfill it. That's helps us de-risk the investments.
Yeah. Yeah, and then in terms of the deal itself, going back to it, put out a release recently, I think it was yesterday or the day before. You guys secured 200 million in additional equity for this deal. And that's basically all for this acquisition.
No, that's not correct. So it is correct. So we announced we've secured another $200 million in equity, $200 million in equity investment. That is for this deal. There's also part of scaling up our prior acquisition of Northvolt assets in California that we acquired in November. That's a facility that requires more equipment to get to full scale. And it is also a recognition to Once these facilities are in our hands, there's a working capital need just to secure the supply chains and to start producing and delivering to customers. So there's obviously a mismatch there when the revenue comes in from those customers versus when you need to spend to go build those systems.
Mm.
And so that working capital is also part of this financing. So the $200 million is at the corporate level. So it's at the Lyten level to support our overall expansion. Now, a big driver for that was this acquisition, our prior Northvolt acquisition, the working capital to bring these on and start commercially producing, as well as recognizing that we continue to see acquisition opportunities in the market as we look at where our pockets we need to scale our supply chain and different parts of our manufacturing base. And so, we continue to look out there and identify are there additional assets in the US or Europe that would be advantageous to us. And so part of this investment as well is to help support that that search activity for, if there's additional M&A opportunities.
Okay. But just to be clear, this acquisition doesn't include any of the Sweden assets of Northvolt. It's just the Poland one.
So it does not include any Sweden manufacturing assets. So we have acquired the IP and of the actual energy storage products. So the physical energy storage products themselves. So that was VoltPack mobile system, Volt rack, and then there was some R&D products in the pipeline. Those were actually held as part of Northvolt Sweden, and so we have acquired that IP. And some of the employees from Northvolt Sweden who are part of that engineering team are coming over to Lyten. But in terms of manufacturing facilities, it's just the Poland facility and this acquisition. And we previously had acquired Q-Berg, which was their California facility back in November 2024.
Okay. Okay. I think I've kind of covered off all the questions I had. I guess like next steps then, what's the kind of timeline for like the nearest term actions kind of on the Poland facility? Obviously, we've talked a lot about the kind of process as a whole, but like what's like immediate first things to do?
So we're building out plans as fast as we can to be ready as soon as the deal closes. We expect that to happen this quarter. And so that's sort of priority one, get all of this closed. And part of the fundraising is part of getting all the finances and all the, everything in order to close the deal. And so we expect that to be happening imminently. And then it is immediately, we already have the customer base. We already have contracts in place for delivery. And so it is immediately start to put the people in place that we can begin ramping back up production, turning equipment back on, doing necessary maintenance to that equipment to make sure that it's up and running and it's safe. Any permitting, that needs to be updated, any of those type of regulatory requirements, get all of those done so we can start putting systems back out the door and deliver to customers. And so right now we are targeting, we will be delivering energy storage systems to customers in the fourth quarter this year. And so that's really the sprint that we're on is to get systems back out the door.
They actually think it. They actually are one of them.
Okay. But yeah, no, we'll follow this with keen interest. And it's on a level, it's just great to see like, the Northvolt stuff continuing. I guess being on a different company was kind of inevitable. So yeah, I wish you guys all the best with it. And
we
got updates.
Yeah, and we appreciate that sentiment. We've seen a very positive kind of sentiment of excited to see these facilities utilized. Despite what happened with Northvolt, one thing that we have seen very clearly as we got on the ground and saw and got into the facility, these are world-class facilities. These were built with world-class capabilities, the latest automation technology, the latest robotics technology. So we are incredibly excited to get our hands on this facility and make sure that it continues to do what it was intended to do, which is go produce energy storage systems into what we continue to believe is just a rapidly growing market. And all the data we're seeing is that the demand in the market just for energy storage systems in general continues to accelerate faster and faster than predictions.
Yeah. And some of our team will be in Poland at the end of September. So, if everything's happened and gone to plan, maybe we could come and have a look.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely stay connected. Happy to do that.